Welcome back to Words of Twist Tarot with me, Cav. And today, we're going to do a little bit of tarot insight. I'm going to walk you through the suits. I'm going to do one at a time. I thought about doing them all, but I thought the video would be too long. And so I want to just walk you through one suit at a time. So it'll be 4 videos. I'm going to go through Pentacles, Wands, Swords, and Cups. And it's kind of how I teach people sometimes how to read the cards. I'm in numerology, which you all know very much so. And so I'm going to kind of take that approach here. And so this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. Hit the subscribe button, give it a like so other people can find it. And I hope you do subscribe so you can follow me. And for all my subscribers, thank you. So again, I'm going to try to add more of these videos. And this is what you want to see, let me know. So we're going to start with the Ace of Pentacles. Now, I'm going to keep it kind of brief and broad, but when you pull this card, you see a hand with a coin, correct? And you see this gateway here and mountains in the background. So we all know that a 1 is new beginnings, but it's a pentacle new of what? Well, people say finances, which is true, but it's also things of the earthly plane, maybe a new idea for health, a new idea for something that's materialized in the earth plane. These are earth cards, okay? And so the 1 means you're getting something new being given to you from divine inspiration. That's why the coin's being held in a hand like that from the cloud, right? The cloud's wisdom too. So it's divine wisdom giving you something, and the hand is truthful. It's not going to lie to you. It's upside right. And if you take that, if you decide to take that, then you can walk through that gate to a new path, and you may have some challenges with the blue mountains in the background. After you take that, then you have what's next? The 2 of Pentacles, which means that this decision, this thing's been given to you, you're deciding for yourself, what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do? It's kind of tough because I'm not too sure how to move forward. I'm a little bit blocked, but I also can juggle multiple things at one time. Can I add this new thing to my day, my life, or do I walk away from it? That's why the ships are also on a wavy background. That's the decision you have to make. What are you going to do with those 2 pentacles? And they're in your hand, so it's kind of like a constant worry because it's the affinity symbol. That's what you 2. That's your decisions. See that? After you make your decision, then you choose to move forward with it. You have the 3 of Pentacles, which means you're now going to start to expand that idea and materialize it. It's not material yet. You're working on it, working with other people. You're looking for advice. You're growing. You're getting better with the idea. So basically using your skill set to help build something. Maybe it's yourself. Maybe it's with other people. The point being is that you're expanding the idea, the 2, into something. Once you work at that for a while, then you move on to the 4 card. And the 4 is interesting because you see a guy holding on with his dear life to those 4 pentacles. 1 on his head, 1 in his arms in the middle, and 2 on his feet. So people can say that's a miser card or being greedy, which I get, but you also look at it from the storyline. From the 3 of working so hard that they finally made money that they don't want to let go. They want to hold on to it because they realize how hard it was to obtain that. But when you hold on too long, what happens? When you don't release a little bit and give back, what happens? Well, you move into the 5. Struggle, you can lose it. You can lose because you forget who you are. Because the money, the pentacles became the most important thing to you. It became all that you cared about. You forgot who you were. You forgot where you came from. You forgot how the idea, you had a struggle over the idea to make something from it. You forgot how it came, who gave it to you, divine inspiration. Okay? All right, so now we're on the 5. After you go through a period of trials with this idea that you're trying to make something, you could have lost it all. You could have lost everything, which is okay because you go back to the 1 and start over. That's totally fine. And that's why I think the 1's on top and the 4 is here, because if you don't play your card right, for lack of better terms, what happens? Well, a new potential will rise up again for you. And next time around with the 4, you remember not to be so greedy. That's one way of looking at it. But then after you go through that pain and hardship, what happens next? You realize what you have gone through and you're willing to share now. You're willing to let go and share with other people who are also in need, right? That's one way of looking at this card. Another way of looking at it is that after you struggled, you basically come back into some wealth and you can maybe think like, I'm going to give you what you deserve. That's one way of looking at it too. But because the balanced scales are there, you remember that, like, well, I got to be fair so I don't go back to this position, so I can move on to the next, which is the 7. And this is where all the work you've done and the wealth you've accumulated, you want to think to yourself, did I do enough? Could I have done more? What else could I have done to grow and be better who I am with what I do? Who I am with what I do. Well, that then goes into the 8. You realize, like, I gotta practice a little bit more. I gotta really master this craft because I don't ever want to go back to that 5 again. Right here, right? I don't want to go back to that 5 again. Okay, I don't go back to that. And I also don't want to be too greedy and forget who I am and forget how I got here through all that hard work. So now you're on the 7. Sorry, the 8. And now that you're on the 8, you're working at your craft, perfecting it, you're mastering what you do. Think about to a bodybuilder, right? Building their body, they have to master that. Do I need to do more? An artist, do I need to paint more? Do I need to study more? A tarot reader, like you and I, what do we got to do? Do we got to go read more books? Do we got to go study more? Do more draws for ourselves to learn more? What do we got to do? Right? It's what you do. Then you go to the 9. Now that you've really worked hard at this, you've obtained. You have enough wealth now because you realize that the snail there, this is a marathon, not a race. But you have everything that you need. You're finally comfortable and you're good to go. And once you realize that, you move to the 10. Whoops. Your cycle is complete. It's time to move on and start over with another idea, to go back to the 1. Because you are happy. You have loyalty, the dogs. Generational. You'll be able to give to your kids what the empire you have. Repeat that. You'll be able to give to your children the empire that you built. What was I thinking? Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied there. Because you realize it was a marathon, not a race. So you really are careful and you matured and you know what it takes to get to where you're at. And so now it's time to let go a little bit and start over. Okay? Because if you don't let go and start over, what happens? Take an apple tree, for example. If you don't pick the fruit off the tree, the apples rot. Okay? Now, once you're done, you have the page. These are the court cards, right? New adventures, once again. The Page of Pentacles, right? Observation, studying. So remember I said it before, what do you got to do? This is where the page comes into play. This is part of your studying, your nurturing, understanding more, right? Reaching out, learning, and so forth. Then you have next the knight. Remember, the page usually serves a knight. You really think about medieval times, they get trained by the knight, and then they become knight themselves. So all that experience they've gained through all those cards, they now become a knight. And the knight isn't reckless, at least not this one. This one is very methodical in what they do. He's on a black horse, subconscious mind in a sense, right? Action, movement, but it's slow. He's going to seek that wealth and not be lackadaisical about it, not be wild and loose with it, because he remembered what it took to get here to become a page. All these different trials he had to go through to finally become that Knight of Pentacles. Then the Queen, the nurturer. The nurturer. You basically aren't wasteful. You help other people to grow as well, and you nurture them because you know what it took. You know what it took to get here. That's why you have a rabbit there. Fertility, right? Nurturing. Yellow. You have a lot of warmth in you, and you're very wise when it comes to money, which takes you to the king. Now, a king and queen can kind of be the same sometimes because if there's no king, the queen also can rule. But regardless to say, the king now, you have mastered everything. So now you're the entrepreneur. You can help build your empire, build your businesses, help people grow because you learned it all from emotional maturity all the way to physical maturity through how you spend, how you invest, how you do things. Okay? And that's why he's sitting on his throne with the empire, the castle is behind him because he's now in total control. Anyway, that's how I want to kind of share with you the pentacle suits, the aces all the way up through the kings, kind of like a storyline. And if you did like this, let me know. I am planning on doing the other suits as well, the Wands, Cups, and Swords, if you like this one. So let me know what you think, if you'd like me to do the rest of them. And until next time, I want to see each of y'all in my next Tarot Insight video. Sit here and watch it with me. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.